Hi Eugene, the design you sent me and the question you asked is a little bit complex because of the multiple intersections that are going on. The model can handle it, but it's kind of a little bit of legacy here because we used to do things like this more, but doesn't seem to be done very much these days. So there are ways of doing it, but it goes back quite a long way in terms of the interface we've got here. Basically the problem is this part has just been placed in space, as you know. It's not linked into this, so if I click on that and say edit, select linked, it will select through the chain to here, but this isn't part of that chain. So the first, what you're trying to do, let's unselect that first. What you're trying to do is tee this part onto that and that at the same time, because there's a bit of overlap here. But effectively it's teeing onto these two pieces as if they were one. So the way to do that is to form a T between this and that, and this and that piece, two T relationships, and then let the modeler sort out where it's intersecting one or the other. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So the first thing I need to do is lock this piece into space, so that it won't move when I'm trying to form these T intersections. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. The first thing I need then is a construction line. So I say create construction line, I say snap to a node, and I snap to this end node here. So that's the end of this part. Do I want to link it to the part? Yes I do. And then I'm going to snap to this node here, so I say snap to node again, and it doesn't matter where I link it in, I could link to any node in the design. And that basically means if I click on that and say select linked, it is linked in. So that locks it in place, and that's one way of using construction lines. Now I'm going to go unselect all. I now want to form a T between this and that, and then between this and that. The way I do that now is I highlight this and I go edit, advanced, and you can just see that on screen. It goes off your screen a bit. You can just see that advanced, move the part to a complex link. So this is a part drag operation, so that the nodes, both end nodes are highlighted. So I click on this, green means select me. So I'm now dragging that part. What I'm trying to do is form a T with that. So I press snap to a center line. You can see the center line of this piece, and I'm dragging now along there. It's restricted to that center line. So I find a position along there, anywhere really, and press OK. And the thing is, the part didn't stay there now, because this is a complex link. It formed the intersection, but then it took it back to its original position, because it knows it is already linked into this design. Now I need to do the same thing again. I need to go edit, advanced, move part to complex link, snap on this end, and then once again snap to the center line here. And now it forms this intersection between that and that, but takes it back to the original position. So I now have two relationships here, that this teed onto that, this teed onto that. And if I go action weld all, I get a result. Now the only thing is, I did, before I started here, I set this option termination level to second. That just makes the modeler deal with it in a more precise way, and it's really a speed thing from the past. If this is set to none, it functions much quicker and works for most designs, but this is a complex one, so you have to increase the value of that. If I set this to none and try again, and I go action weld all, I get a different result, where this doesn't know about the termination of these other parts relative to each other. So termination level in this case is important. And I go action weld all, and that basically is your design working. I hope that made sense. It's just a case of forming these complex links. They're not immediately obvious, like this is obvious that this is linked to that. It's not so obvious that this is linked to that and that. You can list it in the report and it will tell you that. But somehow you have to form them. We may improve the interface so it's more obvious that that's happened. But that's basically the way that you do this. If you've got any questions, just give me an email. I'll try and answer it the best I can. But I hope it helps.